got my video thing running right now, and I was thinking about maybe doing a quick demonstration and putting it on Onder's site. Two VK3AMP's chatting together. So maybe I'll run down what I've got here. I'm running the 2-pallet design by Onder, and Onder made the amp for me and sent it to me, and I assembled it. So it's got 2 pallets. I'm driving it right now with 30 watts, and you can see it's doing legal limit, and the radio is an on 100, an old clunker and on, and it's you can see the IMD's properties on the screen are pretty decent. But maybe Michael, talk about what you're running real quick, and then if it turns out, I'll post it on that VK3AMP products page, if that's okay with you. This is N8RWS, Jeff, in Southwest Michigan.
Okay, Jeff. W9AAM here. Yeah, Jeff was talking about 2-pallet amplifiers and all that, and I succumbed to peer pressure, and I decided that maybe I ought to build one too. Anyway, I checked out everything else on the market, the guy down in Florida, the guy out in California, and came across the designs that Onan has, and I from just looking at them, I have been very impressed with the design engineering and detail. So I ended up basically ordering the same set of boards, or almost the same set of boards that Jeff has, 2 pallets and low-pass filter and other support boards. But instead of having its own controller of operating everything, I am having my Anon 7000 do all of the band switching and pure signal monitoring and all of that. And I did design my own control boards to interface between the Anon radio and the you had to have for turning on and off the functions in the amplifier to go from transmit to receive. And so overall, mine is just controlled by a 9-pin interface cable. The amplifier is powered by a 48-volt battery bank that is solar powered, and I'll have to talk to Bonan to see if he would like to publish some of my pictures. I actually copied them on him, and I should also take some pictures of the solar panel and battery setup as well. Back to you, Jeff. W9AAM.
Alrighty, sounds good, Michael. N8RWS, yep. So Michael did a lot of the fab, a lot of the metal work by himself, and I know he's got pictures on the Facebook VK3AMP site. You can check those out. But hey, Michael, real quick, just give a quick rundown of your background as far as electronics goes.
Okay, well, actually, I started out fixing CB radios as a kid, and ended up an RF consultant, RF design consultant. After working for several employers, I became an RF design consultant in the 1980s, and ended up doing a lot of classified work, and ended up out in the Marshall Islands at the MIT site that they had out there. And the details I can talk about are on my QRZ page, W9AAM.
Alrighty, sounds good. So, in other words, an expert. And me, I'm not. I'm not an electronics expert at all. I know very little theory, and was very reluctant to even try to assemble an amplifier myself. But a lot of my friends like Michael and Steve and Larry and others, Christopher, they're saying, "Nah, you're crazy. You can do it." You know. So my experience with the amp has been fantastic. I really like it. Of course, I've modified it. I like to use AM about once a year, so of course I had to modify it to give me a little more duty cycle. So I changed the fan and put a PWM controller in it, and it just delighted with the amplifier. And also we should probably mention that we are operating what's called ESSB. So you're listening to Michael, who's transmitting around 8 kc bandwidth on one sideband, and you're listening to him through obviously my N8R 100, and I've got a pair of Rocket 6-inch studio monitors that are playing. I'm operating Vox, and I've got a Personas, I think it's a 10-inch subwoofer that is helping to get all of Michael's fidelity into the shack here. So what is your, you're running right around 8, aren't you, Michael?
Affirmative, 8 kc. I actually, on the bottom end, I'm at 10 hertz up to 8 kc, so you can hear virtually everything that is good going on here. The microphone here is the Electro-Voice RE20, the audio preamp and processor. I have a fat head on the back of the amplifier, and it goes into a DBX 286, and then into the Banan radio, where I do AM broadcast pre-emphasis in the equalizer there, W9AAM.
Alrighty, good deal. No, sounds fantastic as always. As far as my station, it's the N8R 100. I've got the RE27 microphone. I'm also using the FET head because these mics don't put out very much. But then all of it goes into an ART Pro Channel 2, and with that I'm not using any of the equalizer function, but I am using a lot of leveling. And so from there the signal goes into, what is it, a DBX 2496 or Behringer 2496 processor, and have it set up through the help of all my buddies. So good deal. I think we run down a bunch of stuff here, Michael. I probably will stop the recording anyway, and then later on I'll edit it, and if it's worthy I'll post it and send you a link, Michael. But it'd be kind of cool to post it on his page. There hasn't been a lot of activity of people showing the stuff working, and obviously this is a good testament to it. Plugging away. This is N8RWS.
Okay, we're fine, Jeff. Catch you later on. I have to go scare up something to eat here myself. N8RWS, W9AAM.